Okay, so we're still waiting for Sean to update the permission so we can within our card add new media. But I'm going to show you one other way where those files / medias are located. So we have let's go back to our, let's make sure we're all on the same page. We have our test card. I'm going to click edit and then scroll to the very bottom. And then where it says cards, I'm going to click edit on my first test card page, our first card, I should say. And from here at the very bottom, what we're waiting for, Sean's going to help out, and we just have to wait for him to update all sites. Is the permission. We're going to have another button that's going to say to add a new media. We're going to see a button like this. So we'll have add existing, and then next to it, add new media should be first, and then add existing would be next. So while we're waiting for Sean to do that, I'm going to show you another way that you can get to all these files / media. And so we're going to click on content. And then, so this is where we could get to all of the pages, but on this page we have a little tab that says files. So we're going to click that. And whenever it finishes loading. Okay, now we have all of our files loaded. Let's see, this is actually, wondering if he's still, we might be still waiting for him to update permissions. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait, unfortunately, for this, for Sean to update this as well. But in the meantime, we're going to cover news. So within the site, we have, if you mouse over content, add content, we'll have 3 different content types. Document is going to be removed completely. It was originally added and is now replaced by card page, but we still have it in there because we're still waiting for content to be moved over that was added originally in as a document. But when you get your hands on the site, or when it goes live, this document content type won't be there. So we have 3. We have our basic page, which we've already covered, card page, which we're working on, and then news. So let's click news. So let's add our first news article. So let's give it a title. And let's give it a header. So from those, possibly the images that we downloaded from Pexel were too small. So let's grab one more from Pexel that's big enough, that's at least 1300 pixels wide. So let's get one really fast and use that as our header image. So I picked mine, and then I want to make sure it's big enough. I'm going to download that. It must be, actually that's not big enough. Okay, when it's finished uploading, you want to like give it some alt text and title text. And then after that, we have our body. So I'm gonna just get some Laura Ipsum, just some filler text. If you want to write some text in there, if you just Google filler text or Laura Ipsum, you can find some. Just some dummy text is all we're looking for. Okay, so now once we've created that, on the right hand side, let's cover kind of what options we have. We do have the ability to create a revision. We have the path settings, which like most often I recommend just using the automatic generated one. Authoring information, which this is like the only content type that really matters to change any of these details, and it would actually just be the like author on. So if you wanted to make some older articles, so if you're moving over content, you want to make those articles be match the right date, you would actually have to update that here on the author on. So you can click this little arrow down here and you can move the date to your appropriate date. And then the promotion option, again, like any of those other content types, we're just going to completely ignore. So let's click save. And now you should see our header image and our title. They submitted on, we have like the date that shows the when it was published, which is today, and then the content below. And on the left hand side we have past articles that were already created for us. And then if we go to the home page, and actually, since this is the Nick theme, it's not going to show it. But on the GACC theme, I'll show you as an example on the staging one. This is what it would look like. You'd have your news post right here, and then when we're using an actual GACC theme, and then you'd click on that and you'd go to a page that would show all of your articles as well. And we haven't created that news like landing page, so let's do that now. And what I mean by that is going back to our article. If we click this more news, it'll go to /news, which hasn't been created yet. So we need to actually create that page for this page to work. So to do so, we're just going to create a static page. So we're going to go to content, add content, and basic page, and we're going to label it news. And you can label it whatever you like. However, the URL has to be news, just news. So if you want, you can add a header image if you'd like, or just leave that empty. And it's not important to, you probably won't ever put a slideshow on this page. And the body, you can actually leave blank. So really all we need is a title. And then on the right hand side, we need to go to menu settings, click provide a menu link, make sure it's news or whatever you feel is appropriate. And then in the main navigation, if you want to parent it underneath any of these main level links, you can do so. I'm gonna have it as a main top level link for now. And then I'm going to underneath, so if you didn't name this news, this would be one time underneath URL path settings. You would uncheck this and make sure it's news, and that's it. Because there's what we call in Drupal, a view that's going to list all of our news articles in the teaser on that URL. And if you name it something else and you have this auto-generated to something else, it's just not going to work. So I've named it news, so it should work just fine. I'm going to click save. And now you can see we have our news page, and we have a list of all of the articles, the old articles that were kind of carried over from a previous site. But we can see this is what we call a teaser view that shows part of the article, the title, the date, and if there is an image, an image. And then when we click on it, it goes to the full article with all of the content of the page. And on the left-hand side, we have a little kind of like a window that you can click on previous articles. And we have that news. The news is on the main level so we can see that link there and we can go back to it. Has everyone been able to successfully create their first news article and also that news landing page?
Yeah, but mine doesn't have the links over on the left.
So since this is the main level, it's not going to.
Okay.
So I guess you could say to fix that, what we're going to do is let's click edit, and then let's parent it underneath something like predictive services, I guess, or probably information. That would make more sense. And then click save. And then that's. Where are you lost right now? Like what's not working? What's wrong with it? So how do we find content that we can't find? We go to that content link at the very top, right here. And so I can go here and then I can see the latest one I've created. You found it? Are we good? Cool. Thanks. So as everyone has created that news landing page and also their first news article. Please raise your hand if you weren't able to, so we can make sure everyone. So that's that content type. It's very simple, and you can also go to the content page and you can find that content there as well. So if you wanted to find articles that you've created or that were unpublished and you're not going to be able to find them, this would be going back to content and then just clicking on that main level link. You'll be able to filter it and say content types. I can filter just to view news and then click filter, and then it'll show all of the news articles that have been created. And then I can see if they've been published or unpublished, and if I want to search for just unpublished, I can change this filter status to view unpublished. So we can use this tool. If you ever aren't able to find any content, you can go here, and if you can also use this search too. So I could have gone here and just under title just select or type in news and just search all news. Of course, then it'll show me my basic page, and also my articles as well. So from here, I can even add more filters to it. So I definitely want you to be familiar with this. Is like a very nice go-to option if you're unable to find content on the front end of your site. If possibly forgot to add a menu item, and that can happen. Like you'll rush through adding content, you'll forget to add a menu link, and then you're unable to find it. This is the go-to place for that. Does everyone kind of sees that? Okay. Just kind of a quick question. Just we encountered this yesterday. What's the one technique to be able to view an image that's broken, that you saved a page and you weren't unable to view that image? How do you rectify that issue? Okay, where do you go? Okay, perfect. And so that's another tool that you really want to get comfortable with using if you ever see something that isn't what you expect. And we've had some issues with, the site not completing, creating those images. For example, like these header images or any of these images, if they weren't created and you see like that broken image, then all you have to do is go to that Drupal icon. It's a little droplet with an 8, and then click flush all caches, and then it'll rebuild all the images on the site, and then you should be able to see your image. And also make sure you understand that this is Drupal's cache, and Drupal's cache is different than your browser's cache. So your browser can cache content, and then Drupal can cache content as well. And so you have these two different layers of caching. And so if let's say you have updated something and the client's not seeing it, you're not going to obviously tell them to clear their Drupal cache. That will be on the browser side where their browser has cached content. And so there might be, while you're logged in, chances are you probably won't ever see cached content because when you're logged in, it's pretty much going to query the database constantly, and you're never going to see cached content. But if you ever do, you could always try clearing your browser's cache. But for the people that aren't logged in, like your visitors, they're going to, they might see old content. So if they ever see old content, you can always ask them to clear their browser's cache. And this is not a Drupal specific thing. This is more just web in general. So we're still kind of waiting on Sean to fix that permission issue or permission update. But let's go back to our cards.
I have a question real quick on the news articles.
Sure.
A lot of times when we archive those, it starts filling up. Is there a way to do that, or is there a need to do that?
It will page. So under the news, let's see. I need to be on there's my training. So on this page, on that news landing page, I think the pagination is like 8 pages. So it'll just keep creating new pages. So on let's see, I don't think we'll be able to see it. No. So I would say there's no need to archive it because it'll just be pushed to past pages, and really I wouldn't ever unpublish news because there's always some chance that it might be helpful for someone else, So and it's not ever gonna be a load on the server to have that old content, and people might link to it. So if you unpublish it, you'll have other people will have broken links to your content. So that's kind of another reason why you don't want to move things around. But this page itself will only show, I think it's up to 8 or 10, and then you click on next, and then you'll keep going back in time to see older articles. And then on our little this side panel, it's just going to show the 4 latest, and that's it. That's a good question for sure. A lot of people want to delete that old content, but there's no need to, especially news. You don't need to delete it, and the blog or the news itself, that view will just kind of push it to old further down the line on those pages. And most people are going to be just going to that first page anyways, or just this little window right here, and just view the latest news. Since it is news, it's not a blog. Most people are going to be looking at the latest. Most people, but there are chances that people can find content in other ways, like Google, and they'll go directly to that page without going through all the other navigational links. Any other questions about news? Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward content type. And if you don't have images, it'll just, on this teaser view, it'll just go full width.
So that's basically just blogging.
It is, but people hate that word,
Yeah.
so we'll call it news. So, yeah, I mean, essentially that's all it is. It's yeah, just organize content in a day format. And but you can, there is no like restrictions or limitations or requirements on how much content you put in here. So you could literally put a sentence or two in here and it'll be fine. And it's just however much content that you have in this news post or whatever article you want to deliver, that's up to you. And as informative as you want or as verbose as you want, it's up to you, because there's no limitations or requirements up. It has to be up to 4 sentences. It could be 1, but you want to be you want to be helpful and informative for your visitor as well. But yeah, it's essentially a blog.
So say I made one of those news posts like a title of a fire, and I put some info in there, and then later I went in and updated some more info in there. Would that push it towards the top because it's the most recently updated?
So it's going to be on the date creation. So let's say it's this post right here. So it's news 7. Okay, so what I would do is I would actually create a new one. Like if it's an update, I would probably create a new post or article for it. Rather than like editing an existing one, I would create a new update, because then it because that's just kind of how they work. You're not really having like this one fire, because it's an update on the fire and it's a new update. So that's why it would be a new article rather than like, you don't have to look at it as like, it's, this one particular fire and then everything that's related has to be in that one article. You can have multiple articles on that one fire. This would be like update and then this is like day 2 or something like that, day 3, and then just have an article. I think it'd be easier for people to follow along with your updates if you did it that way. But that being said, this is up to you guys. And so, you can manage it however you want. I'm just giving suggestions on how like it might be easier, or just how how people are going to be reading that content. It might be best if versus updating that first one, I'd say just add new ones. Any other questions on news? No? Okay. Sean, give me... Okay, so let's go back to our cards. And so since... Let's see, so I put mine underneath predictive services. I'm not sure where you put yours, but if you don't remember, you can always use that content page to find it. It sounded like a few people, we kind of rushed through adding that iframe into the header. So we're going to add that again now, because we kind of did that quickly. So we're going to redo that. So go back to your card page, and then let's click edit. And let me just snag this URL. And then, hold on one sec. Okay, go away. I'm going to delete the iframe that I created. Okay, so to create an iframe, everyone's here, right? Please raise your hand if you're not here at this body text. And this isn't limited to, you could put an iframe in a blog article too. Because this is, this WYSIWYG, this little guy right here, this is on all of your content types. So once you see that little iframe icon right here, the little globe, you can click that and be able to add any iframe to any like content that has this. So that would be static pages, news, articles, and card pages. So I'm going to click that guy, and I'm going to paste in my URL. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can all use that. So if you've already done it, delete it, and we're going to redo it, just so we're used to, so we're all on the same page. We know everyone's able to create an iframe. If you're more advanced, feel free to maybe add like a YouTube iframe. Okay, and then for the width, we're gonna put 800 pixels, and for the height, it's I think it's 716 pixel. No, it won't, unfortunately, because it doesn't know. It's not smart enough. It's seven. No, it's because remember when I did like the YouTube one, it was like a baby, like tiny. Yeah, so 800 pixels wide by 607 pixels tall. So we all have this, and now let's click OK. And then let's scroll to the very bottom and click Save. So now we have our iframed picture. And this, we can add the YouTube video or Vimeo video here as well. And there are conversations on possibly adding an iframe field in this card, but one of the issues is how we're going to treat the width of those images, but we might just have it be always like 100 pixels wide or 100% wide. So don't totally discount that out. We might be able to put these iframes in the card. I'm not sure if we're going to have time, but we'll see where everything lands on that list of tweaks. Okay, so let's add a new card within our card page. So I'm going to click Edit, and I'm going to let you guys do this on your own. You guys are going to, the requirement is I want you to create a new card with 2 links, an external and an internal link, and then also an image reference that's a 2-image reference, and the link can be whatever you want. So that's what we're looking for. So you guys on your own are going to create your own new image card, or sorry, your new card with 2 links, one an internal link, one an external link, and then also an image reference that has 2 images, and then the link can be to whatever you want. So I'll give you guys some time to do that right now. Yep. Can you guys raise your hands who still is working on their new card? Okay, still a few. Okay.
Central time. Okay, Nick calls now or you? You're not gonna make it there. Not in Wisconsin. Still now.
Okay, are we all good? Okay, cool. So now it should look like this, where we have the first one we created, the existing one that we have, and then our new one. It doesn't have to be in this order, but that, we have our new card with our title, description, and our image reference with the two images, the link, and one internal link and one external link. So we're good there. Now let's edit that new card that we've created. So we're going to click edit on the page, and we're going to click edit on that new card that we created. And now let's scroll to the near to the bottom where we have the files, and I'm going to click add new media. And this button with permission update has now been added. So if I click that, I should have this new field open. So I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to name it whatever you'd like. and then I'm going to upload a file. So this should be a typical like document, like a doc, docx, PDF, things like that. This is where we're going to upload that. So I'm going to click choose, find a PDF, and then now I'm going to click create media, and then click update card, and then click save on the page. And now if I scroll down and view that card that I created and updated, I have my new file with the little download icon set up, and if I click on it, it would open up that PDF in a new window. So we went over that pretty fast. Let's do that again. So I'm going to click edit on the page, scroll to the bottom, click edit on that card, that last card that we created. So I'm going to click edit, and then scroll to the bottom again, and then underneath where it says files, we have that add new media underneath files. So I'm going to click that. So make sure you've at least created one of these. If you're already ahead and you want to add another one, please feel free to add another file. So I'm going to do another new file, going to give it a title, and then underneath file I'm going to choose a different PDF, and then click create media, and then update card. And remember, we have to do these saves in a sequential order, so we're saving what we just edited or added, and then we're updating that card, and then after we've updated that card, then we're going to save that page. Because if you save the page without going through this order, you'll blow away all of your changes, which can be very frustrating. So now I have a card with 2 links. At the very bottom, you can see my 2 links. Has everyone been... Please raise your hand if you weren't able to successfully add a new file. Okay. Do you need some help?
I'm slow.
Okay.
So this, like for example, we have a folder called front web. This is how we get for our website, how we get all these documents into
The site. Yeah. And then there's one other method of managing these files or media, and I'm waiting for Sean to update it, but there is another way that we're going to be able to view the media or files, but we can bulk upload, like just drag and drop like a folder of files at once, and then have them be accessible to the cards. So there's like other ways to get at it, and this is going to be one other method, but this is like kind of like the single way of doing it. So when you're first adding files, you might do the bulk upload, but then later on, I think when you're just individually uploading content, this would be probably the method. So I'll give you guys some time. If you've already created one file, let's do at least 2 files. So everyone, please make sure you have at least 2 files uploaded. That's not a, yeah, that's not they don't call it an acceptable file, no. Yeah, it's not it's just like documents. So think of it as just documents. So like a Word doc, a PDF, Excel, yeah.
There a way to save the HTMs? Because we take Excel documents and save as a web page HTM.
Can you just do the Excel then?
Well, there's certain blocks of the Excel sheet that get saved at a time.
Yeah,
Changing everything. Okay.
that would probably be the easiest way.
Okay.
The other kind of like thing is like most people, like I guess like if you double click on an HTML document, it'll just open up in the browser. But for documents, it's probably best to have everything be uniform and just use PDFs. They're just more portable and more accessible for people than doing like docx. Because like on my Mac, I can't open up a docx file. So like everyone has accessibility to view PDFs in modern machines. Even though an HTML is, I mean, if you have a browser, you can view it. It's just standardizing it. I think it's just a little bit easier.
Just looking at my workload.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out, how it all works.
A lot of this is coming out of 508 accessibility standards, which is something we can't dodge anymore as an agency or even as a fire organization. Those exemptions aren't, going to satisfy most like things of what we do. But part of why this change is going forward, especially with the website stuff, because none of them or any of them were fully 508 accessible.
Earlier you were thinking around with the contrast for the Rockies.
Yes.
What's the break point for being accepted?
From what I've heard, and I'm not a 508 expert, is let me show you. Like, so this is the tool that I always use. Is this web aim, and it gives you the ability to put in your background color and your foreground color. So this would be like your text, for example. So you just paste in the hex code, but where we need at least the AA. The AAA is extremely strict, and we don't. From what I heard, we don't have to hit that requirement, but the minimum is AA, not AAA. Yes.
This kind of goes way back. I got everything else to work, but still I'm probably get my iframe to work within the header underneath header text in that text box.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the image that you had up there earlier with pixels, and for some reason it's not displaying the image. It's just a blank space on my page.
Okay. Yeah.
Looks like the space has been allocated for it. I mean, other than that, I was able to do it.
Did notice that. I uploaded Excel documents.
I think for that in there.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad, but I mean, it shouldn't hurt.
This stuff's working just fine.
Right. Is it HTTPS? Try that. Yeah, to edit.
Can you have more than one iPhone? We tried that. In this header area. I haven't tried that.
I've tried to also like edit. Do you know how to edit once it's in there? Is there a way to change it?
Uploaded an Excel file.
Like I made mine too big. Oh, there it is. Probably iframe properties.
Oh, yeah.
Would you right click on it?
Yeah.
I'll add it to the list because it should be. Let me make sure. But a PDF was, but a spread. Is it a XLS or XLSX? Do you know what? Okay, that was probably yeah. Make.
iframe in the header.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, you can do it. There's no limit. You can put it in the footer as well, because
Okay.
wherever.
Well, so the college is the house is about 500 and that's where everything's going. It's a Google Drive, but we're about to get our account from, so all of our stuff that's in our Google account is being migrated over into Firenet. So then we legitimate, and we won't be breaking the rules anymore. But all of our dispatch centers are supposed to get one too.
So like there's some of this, their website.
Right, but I mean, if you guys get like this week, if you get your Firenet account for the regular dispatch, then you can migrate. All you have to do is just copy everything over. Don't do that. Because it's the Forest Service only, which means anybody outside of the Forest Service. It's like
You're done creating whatever the cards. Can I ask you to do something? Like click content. Which one's here? Yeah, click that guy, and then I want to see if there's a. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Cool. And then if you want to click any trim, and then edit profile. Okay. Just joking. Okay, you're good. I just wanted to see if there was a change that worked for everyone else. It looks like it. Okay, let's get going again on our card. So we have so we've added our new card, and there are other ways to add files, and I'm going to show you. And this is definitely, please pay attention to this step, because this isn't this is kind of complicated. So please follow along, and hopefully we have updated the permission so everyone can do so. But underneath content, we're going to click content, and then hopefully everyone can see this tab right here. Now, media. So click that tab. Yeah, I can. You don't see it? Okay. That's what I was afraid of. I don't know why. Yeah. You can see it. So Sean probably is still working on everyone's to update it. So if you don't see it, that's fine. We just follow along on the screen for now. But we'll get it updated for everyone after our next. We'll have a little quick break, and I'll make sure everyone is seeing the same thing. So just watch the screen, follow along, and I'll show you what's going on. So what this is, everyone, these are all of the files that we've uploaded to the site in cards. And so I can see my media file name that I used and all the ones that were added previously. And this is, again, this is the exact file reference. So if I went in here and let's say I wanted to edit this another new file, I can make a change here, but it's going to propagate through any card that uses that reference, that file. And so if I go here and click edit, and you don't worry about following along, because this is, watch this screen, don't watch your screen. Everyone, I want to see eyes up here, because I know this is going to lose a lot of people because this gets complicated. So again, we have our new file, and if I wanted to make a change, I can do so here. So I can do new edit. I'm gonna just save. Now again, just follow along here on my screen, and so I can make changes here. And so like, let's say I'm working on a bunch of files, I can do changes to these files in different locations. I can do it here, which is like looking at like a folder on your computer. But I can also go back to my content and look at my card. And if I go to my card, I can see that that updated that card and that reference to that file. And if I had that file copied on any other card, it would update on all of those places. So the title is like, yeah, that's great, whatever. But what's important is when I click edit again, I can remove the reference to this file and update it with a new version without having to go through the headache of doing all of that work and updating it wherever I added it. So hopefully this is now clicking that, like, really you could save some time in how you update your files in this fashion. So let's say, so this is, as you can see, like I use plus signs on this, so I'm going to remove it. So it's not deleting it. Please, eyes up here. Make sure we're all looking at this. This is a kind of a complex concept. So we have our file, and now I'm going to change it with the ones with the dashes. And I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to go back to my card. And I'm going to click refresh. And I'm going to hope that it works. And it works. Awesome. So I can see down here, it's all dashes. It's not the reference. And I've uploaded this in the past. Like I have like a handful of little demo PDFs that I've been using, and I can see it's that _0. So it's trying to be smart and not replace things that I've uploaded. So it has appended that 0, so it's not replacing where I've used that in the past. But that is one way you can find, like, let's say you had I don't know, give me an example, guys. I'm like one file that you probably update frequently, but you don't want to add a new one. You want to update an existing one. There has to be some. Okay, whatever that was. So like you have that on your site, and all you have to do is click edit now, and then wherever it's referenced, now it will update everywhere. So that's the beauty of media. There's a few other things, but so you can, this is our media library now, and with the media library, you're going to have like thousands of files, but you have the ability here to search, so you can search by file name. Any of these other filters are probably fairly irrelevant. Like, they're all going to be files. They're not going to be images. You're not going to unpublish them, and they're always going to be in the site's language. But at least you can search for file name.
So once you post something to the web page, it automatically gets included in this media library?
Exactly.
So, for instance, like a morning report that you update every day, you would be better off just, doing it in the media library?
Well, you could do it where we originally did it in the card, but it'll also be done here. So for example, I could do like, you can add individual media files here. To me, this is like where you would add you'd do a bulk upload, or you would do universal edits. But if you're adding like one file, then you would just do it the normal way through the card. But it will be included here. So I just mentioned, so I'm going to upload a file here. So I'm going to just show you how that works. I just do a file, and then a new file via media, and give it a name that means something. Like, obviously this is a demonstration, but make sure you're naming these things something that is going to be relevant for you when you're searching. Dates are really helpful. So I've added that, and it's going to go here, which is Not exactly where I'd like to go, but if I go back to content, media, I can now see it's been added here as well. If I jump really fast into a card, I'm using the same files, but it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna create that media, update that card, save that page. And now, so that, I mean, it's super fast here as well, but if you're doing multiples or if you're editing like a reference, it's best on here. But I'm gonna refresh here, and as you can see now, it's been added to our library. So if I wanted to, later down the road, like it's hard to sometimes find these like file references, like via the cards. So, and sometimes it isn't, but if you want to just go directly to, like, you want to, like, what is your purpose? Are you just trying to update a card? Then go to the card. If you're trying to update in an individual file, then probably go here, and then you can update the file here. So I just added this new file via the media, or via the card, but I can still change it here as well, and then that will trickle down and be reflected in my card.
And then also on the card, if you go into via the card to update the file, will that also update universally as well?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's just
You can go different ways and just show one. Okay, so now, so I've shown you. So does this all make sense to everyone? Is everyone following? Okay, cool. Now we're going to use one tool that's going to be hopefully a godsend to everything. That's, you know, this whole site move from what you guys have to this new site is the bulk media upload. So this is the ability. This will give you the ability to drag and drop. So I'm going to open up Finder or in on a PC Explorer. So I'm going to go to Documents. Going to grab 3 PDFs. There's no limit on how many that I've seen, but it also there is a limit because there's a limitation on your server's requirement, or not requirement, but on their specs on how much you can upload. So if you need that boosted, that would be something your server would need to be tweaked. But as far as this functionality in Drupal, there isn't a limitation. But, you know, be respectful on your server's resources and do maybe, you know, 5 or 10 at a time. So I'm going to grab 3, drag and drop, and then bam, they've been uploaded. Hopefully everyone's watching this. Hit submit, and then it's done. And it goes back to the upload media bulk operation. So you can go here and click and select files this way. You know, I just like doing the HTML5 way, the like just drag and drop, which is kind of nice. But it's been uploaded, so I want to see them. And so if I go to content and media, I can now view all of them. Okay, so here is the issue, you could say, with bulk uploading. Is it's going to use whatever you've named your file as the title, which looks ugly, typically. And so, like, these are 3 examples, and I named them to be to kind of show you what happened. So this is a file that had spaces, and the spaces were replaced with underscores automatically by Drupal. This one had plus signs, and those plus signs were completely removed. And then this one had dashes, and this one was actually kept together as close to what it was originally, but still, to me, looks fairly ugly. So you might have, depending on if it's a really small file name, you might not have to do too much editing, but after you bulk upload all of these files, you most often will have to go in and rename these. So all you have to do is just go in, click edit, and then you have the file name, and then from here you can clean it up. So you can just delete like all of the dashes so it doesn't look all sketchy like that. Because this, I'll show you what happens. So I've saved this. This looks good. Now it looks like a normal title. You know, this doesn't look like a title. This looks like a file or a link or something. And this, has no spaces, so it's super hard to read. So let me go back to my card page and edit or add those 3 existing ones. So we've added existing media, but we've never added existing media that we've actually added ourselves. So I'm going to show you how that's done. It's the same process. So I'm going to just click edit on my card, go to the very bottom where it says media, and I'm going to add existing media. And then I'm going to click select entities. We've been here before, but now we have all of our media files, and it's organized in some fashion that I don't know how, but or why. But I'm gonna just search for let's see if I can find the files or this. Okay, cool. I found them. And if I select them, I can add them to my card. But this is what it's gonna look like. So if I hit save, or update card, and then save page, this is what it's going to look like, which this is the one that I made look, I prettied up the label or the title. And so that looks legit. This looks, not so great because it's underscores, and then you have a underline with the link. So that doesn't look right or appropriate. And then you have this one that has no spaces. So it's kind of hard to read. So if I go back, I can fix that here. I can also edit them in the card as well, like someone mentioned. Wherever's easiest for you. There's no this is where you have to do it. Go wherever it makes sense to you and what's easiest for you. What we tried to do with the site is make it be as convenient as possible, but give you a couple different ways to do things so you can find the easiest path possible. But now you can see, I have these cards, these links in my cards that don't look incredibly pretty, and I probably should fix those. And I can do that here, or I can do that. Let's see, where was it? My test card page. I can do that here. So I can do that by clicking edit on my card, going to that individual one that needs to be updated, and then just cleaning it up here. So if I clean it up here, that will be updated also in the media library. This is a reference. So this is more dynamic and than what you would normally think of as a file. Like a file doesn't have any attachment to you wouldn't be able to do these file replacements or revisions, or you couldn't as easily link to multiple places and then update it, and then it'll trickle out to all the cards that use it. That's why these are references, and that's why they're named that. So I can update this last one, make it look legible. And so I named it as close to as what I would want it to be a file, title or description as possible for that file name to make my life easier. So I'm just going in and going over, delete, over, delete, or adding spaces. That makes my life easier. Go ahead.
When you're selecting the duties in that box, and you said that you have no idea how those things sit in there, you say,
Is that older?
put 30, I couldn't figure any order.
Yeah, I don't know it either.
You got 30 of these things pulled up, and you only pull in 9 entities at a time per card, because if you switch that next page, for instance, you have a progression of
Yeah.
documents.
Let me. Okay, yeah. Let me see if that's the case. I haven't tried that. So the question is, let's go back to the card. This is an important question, so please everyone follow along. We have the question is, when you're adding existing media, let's say you went ahead and you bulk uploaded 10 files. So if I go back to add existing and click select entities, it's not going to show you 10. So if I select all of these, the question is, if I go to the next page, will it save my selection? So if I go to the next page and go back, it doesn't. So the answer is you have to go in and save them you have to go in here and I select, let's say I'm going to select these, which, that's quite a few per page. But yeah, if you're going to do more than that, you're going to do select entities. So it's going to select all of those, but all you have to do is go back and click add existing entities, select entities, and then go back to that second page where you can further select the next page of content that you want to add.
Is there any way to do like a list option that would list the files so you get to more at a time?
I don't think that's... there isn't a way to change this pagination feature. What might be customizable is how many you can view, but I mean, there's never going to be that perfect, like, show 20 at a time, and then people want to add 50 at a time, so...
Well, they don't come in there in the same order.
And that's the...
You might get 6 or 4 on one.
Yeah.
There, it's like 3 pages.
That's the other challenge, too. So, yeah, you have to go in and pick, but this is assuming they all are listed in a row, which they typically aren't unless they're named in that sequential order. Or, yeah. So, okay, I'm going to add all of these.
I tried renaming the files before I uploaded, and it's just put them in there in their order.
Yeah, that order, I don't know how that's being ordered because there's no rhyme or reason because test was the first one. Unless it's the... hold on one sec. So if we go back...
For anyone archiving a bunch of products, that's when I came across it.
Yeah, this is... So, like, out of the box, this bulk operation isn't even included. This was something we had to extend Drupal. So before, you didn't have the option to go in and add more than one at a time. So that wasn't even something that we could do. But so this existing media... let's go to the last page. So yeah, it must be date like the oldest first, and then the newest is at the end. Yeah, I'll add this to my list to see what we can tweak on this browser, because it'd be nice maybe at least more, or if we could maybe even change the way it's being sorted. That might be kind of handy. You can search, but yeah, let me see what we can tweak as far as like how many we can show, what the order is. Yeah, maybe we can change that a little bit. But yeah, if we didn't have this, adding a ton of documents would be incredibly painful. It's still not the like perfect solution, but what I would recommend would be naming the file name of the file that you're uploading before you upload. So the process is on your machine, look at the documents. Typically, most people don't name them in a very descriptive fashion. It takes time, but I would rename it something that is as close to what you want it to be the title of the link. And what I mean by that is going back to that card, this guy right here, because this is what's going to show to the public, and that's what they're going to be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm downloading. And so name it as close to that as possible. I feel it's easiest to use dashes, because then all you have to do is capitalize the first letter and then go through and delete the dashes, and then you're done. That might work for majority, but maybe not everything. But that's what I felt was the easiest way. But this is not perfect, and there isn't any perfect, scenario of like having these be named exactly the way you want it on that upload. But I would highly recommend naming your files before you upload them to something that makes sense, that you can easily rename them to be more user-friendly for your visitor. Does everyone kind of follow what I'm getting at? Okay, so let's go back to our card, and let's see. Okay, so we're going to have a kind of another on your own challenge. So we're going to add you're going to add 4 files to the latest card that you created, and you're going to upload them via the media bulk upload. So you're going to be doing that on your own now, and do that on, you know, the last card that you created, and it's going to be on your own, but, you know, see how the process works where you find files locally on your machine, and then how it works when you bulk upload, and then you can see like how that file name looks on that description that's going to be clicked. And most often you're going to have to rename that. So in this challenge, go ahead and bulk upload, but then I would highly recommend, or just do it, like go in and edit those 4 files to be front end friendly, like visitor friendly titled, so then they can understand what that file is that they're clicking on. So challenge is 4 files, upload it via the bulk upload, go back to your card, and then add them as existing media files to your card. You still don't have it? Ah, Sean, you're killing me. Okay. You can't do the bulk yet? Okay.
And I set up a file structure just like Drupal. And then when I say I need to update something,
Okay, there is one workaround.
and then do update media, and just
Okay, guys,
new one
stop. So, like, everyone stop, log out, and log back in as admin as the username and this as the password. This is going to be like you were using the site admin role. This is going to be an administrative role, and this has every single permission enabled, so we're not going to have to worry waiting for Sean to update this. But log out, we're going to use the same site, but log out and log in as admin as your username, and this is your password. I'm going to... Yes, if you already have bulk upload, don't worry about logging out. But I'm wondering, can you show me like an example on your computer, like what you...
That was a Mendo one, right?
Yeah, that was,
The sulfur?
yeah, that's what it was. And then, some sun picture. And then this is the tubs. At the time, the boundary was here. I used to live in a house right like here.
Oh man.
And then eventually,
Made it.
well, eventually it took about a week. The boundary got drawn over here more. So, and then, you know, my parents lived there. But my little brother was in high school, so he had friends all over.
Oh man.
So they were all calling me and asking about their house. I didn't know for a week.
Yeah.
It's crazy for them. And then this is a magical white deer that's in my neighborhood.
No, really.
Yeah. It's not an albino because it's got dark.
Huh.
But it's baby, you know, like
Yeah.
Western Europe, I guess. And
It
it's got
definitely probably matches in the summer, like the grass.
yeah. We'll see. I mean, it just popped up this winter from, you know, whatever the baby was. But it's got like 2 or 3 others that it hangs out with that are regular color. So then someone reported a mountain lion in the area, so we're waiting to see how many deer lasts.
Yeah.
Pretty visible.
Right, and it's kind of not the most convenient way to get there, but if you go to that media page and click on it, I think it goes to that. Remember, we wanted to bypass going here up to this because it's like and so
I was trying to think of ways because I always have RKDs updating stuff.
Yeah.
And that would be the easiest. If they just set up like a file, kind of how Remover does, where they just say they're updating that file for the day, they just save it over the old one.
Yeah.
And it keeps the file name, and then they just go to that media, delete the old one, but then they just reload it.
Why isn't this?
Files are those?
Like our state report, the large
Why?
fire summary.
The news and
I guess I can't zoom in more than that.
like the news, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
it's
trying to think of how to do it.
Z5ASJ0. The first one is 0, G5Q3LB.
So we do a couple updates per day on one fire. So it'd be a bunch of news articles, or I could just have the fire name, and then under that just keep editing it.
Every day now that you use the latest.
Yeah. And I think under admin you can do the. Huh?
I'm looking for a fire. I can see the whole progression.
Yeah.
Just that fire.
Oh, under that one news tab.
The one thing that
And I
messes
think-
up is when they combine them.
Yeah. Well, like, I gotta make sure I can do the change the date so it pushes like my newest update to the top.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it will get buried really quickly,
Yeah.
like a large fire.
That's true.
But I think under the under those little tabs on the side, you can change like the created date for the. I think that changes it. So I can push it to the top every time I
Yeah,
update it.
if that works, then you can do that.
I was trying to
I know,
think
it
of
makes you
better
think.
ways to do that.
Makes you think with all this new stuff.
Yeah. I think it would look cleaner. Might be a trial and error.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is going to be trial and error. It's like, I don't know, you do it for a while, or you just start running with it.
Yeah, just give it like a month to
Yeah, see what people think. Yeah, most of ours we're going to rewrite. We're just going to overwrite.
yeah, so I could have this and then edit. Yeah, see, I did change the date on one of them and it pushed it to the bottom.
To the bottom?
Yeah, I think like over authoring information, like you can change the date, author dot. So you can make it newer or whatever. It said you can make the body as long as you want, so
Oh, really?
yeah. I'll just have to figure out what looks good.
I know, you're going to have to
Admin is the username. That's the password.
all these different things.
If you're not able to see the media tab on content.
Sometimes I'm pulling up images on their side. Is there a way to rotate them, or do I need to do that?
You have to do that before. Yeah. Like
'Cause they wanna do
Photoshop.
landscape?
Yeah. Yeah, Photoshop's probably Photoshop, or there's other like online tools. Like I would just Google search for free online editors, because there's some that you can just like upload and do like quick tweaks just like that, because that's a simple tweak, and just rotate it and then save it as. Yeah, it doesn't need to have Photoshop, but yeah, there's some online editors. Maybe I'm gonna add that to my list of like good online image editors. The list.
Once I have it on here, I put it in the drop zone. Is there a way to delete it from the drop zone?
Why would you want to?
Because
You want to submit it?
I have to edit it. I had to.
Oh,
rotate it.
gotcha. I see what you're
Did
saying. Then
rotate it.
no, like you have to like refresh to like kind of eliminate your upload.
Okay, I'll submit and then I'll.
You could submit it and then edit that one, like go in, because you know how we were like replacing that file.
Yeah.
But we're doing PDFs. We're not doing images for
Oh, okay.
media.
Okay, which one's the PDFs?
just the files are like PDF. It should say underneath. Oh, in the bulk, I don't know if it does, but it's like PDFs, Word docs, spreadsheets.
An MP4 would not do.
No,
Okay.
yeah, no music and movies. Yeah, it can't be. But
So you see videos of like seasonal outlook, monthly outlook, things like that.
I'd probably upload it to YouTube, and then you can embed it.
Okay.
And like you can embed it in a page, or like the header or the footer, or you could make that be like a link, because you could always use it in a link. You could just title it and then link it to the YouTube or wherever you uploaded it. Because
Right now it's just an MP4 sitting on the website.
the problem is like usually like uncompressed video is like really tough for people to view, especially in like low latency like older machines. And that's why you want to upload it to like a service like YouTube, because they stream everything so they can view on bad connections. And then also then you don't have to deal with like transcoding video and all that. They do all that for you, and it's free. So, but yeah, I would highly recommend using a video service, a free one like YouTube or Vimeo, just because then you don't have to deal with the drama, because it also is a big file for people to view on your server too. I don't know how many videos you have. It probably wouldn't be a big problem. Oh, yeah.
More than one, I don't know. Yeah, I tried putting it in iframe yesterday, and that didn't work.
No,
So I
yeah.
linked right to our website.
There is there's a code that a video tag that you can use to reference it, but I don't know if that's added in the editor. But there is a video tag that's similar to iframe that it's video, and then you can refer to that WMPEG, the MPEG or MP4 or whatever it is, and then it'll play it in the browser. But yeah, it's so nice to have the ability to just embed the YouTube video, because then you can even track visitors. You can like you won't have any performance issues that you would if you tried to serve up a video locally. Well, yeah, because then just let them deal with it. And then like if it's something that you want other people to watch, then you have like the world's second largest search engine is YouTube. So then you have that platform so people you kind of are like, I mean, you guys aren't brands or anything, but like it's awareness, and like it's a nice place to like, extend, that content. So other than just storing it just on your site.
I didn't keep my capital letters.
It's all lowercase. Yeah, file names are always lowercase everything. And then you have to fix that. You're going to have to fix dashes, spaces, plus signs, and all that anyways.
So do I do that at the content media list, or do I do that when I put it in the card?
After you bulk upload, then you can edit it in there, like going back to that media browser, or you can do it in the card and just click edit.
So Brent, to clarify, the main advantage of having, I know it's a pain to, have to clean up the naming convention.
Yeah.
But by doing it that way, if you have that file linked and all within multiple pages, that takes care of that.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah.
You can't, like within a card, you can have the title on the card, but if you want, and you could just have one location. Let's say you had on a card you had name pointing to just one file that's the only place, then you could just overwrite. You know what I'm asking? Like,
So, like, I guess
it seems a little. It adds an extra workload to have to remove like the minus signs and all that.
Well, you're gonna have to do it even if it wasn't like a reference. You're gonna have to do it anyways, even if it wasn't a reference when it's shown on the page.
Right. You're saying you'd like to have the naming convention cleaned up just for the fact that like when they pull it up.
Yeah. Okay. So like, when you're adding it, to the card,
Correct.
you have, it doesn't even give you the option to automatically, like, you just type in your, like, just type in your title.
The file.
And then the file. So there's no problem there. The issue is when you're doing a bulk upload, it has to, like, all you're giving it when you're bulk uploading is the file. So it has to assume something, like, how am I going to name this file? And so the assumption is, well, I'm just going to take the file name and remove the extension, and then that's what the title is.
So that's just how that it's set up.
Yeah. Well, there's no way to, like,
Keep there's no way to keep the name you have for it on the web page associated with that file name. You're just overwriting.
What do you mean?
Well, let's say like the IMSR report, like here, there's no way to just upload it and keep this like how you named it on the card. I guess this is a bad example. And like right here, if you're updating this aircraft report every day, file name associated with this.
So that is, yeah, you're not going to have to worry about that. Because all you're going to have to do is, let's say you're updating that one reference.
Yeah, the aircraft report.
So let's say this is aircraft report.
Yep.
You're going to be going here, clicking edit, and then clicking remove and updating that.
Yeah, okay.
And then you don't have to worry. This is always going to be aircraft report.
Alright, so Jeremy,
I think, yeah, so that, you have to do it this way to keep it from doing that zero thing and having 100
Yeah.
versions of the same document.
Yeah, you have to go here to update the reference. Yeah, you can't do it through the card. You have to do it. You can edit the card.
you just have to do that again.
You do that. You click remove. You update or upload your new PDF, and then everywhere that aircraft report is, will be using that new PDF.
With the same.
So here you just remove it and then select the new.
Yeah. And then everywhere that's using this reference is going to be using that new PDF.
Yeah, alright. Well, that's kind of what I was getting at.
But that's why you have to do it through this end. You can't just like, you just do it on a card.
The original,
If you do it on a card, you can have multiple versions spread out across.
the original. Well, it's creating a reference, yeah. And so the original time you do it, you can't just put the card, but the next time you update, you can go to the media browser. Oh, no, that's only a one-time thing. Yeah, that. Yeah.
You just have to make sure.
Yeah, let me show you how that, I'll show you exactly that. So let's.
I mean, I get that. Like,
Yeah. So we have that. And then, so going back to our test card that doesn't have that, all you have to do, so the first time you can add it to the card, but when you update it, let's say we updated it, and we go to our card, we're going to go here, add existing, go through select media, and then aircraft.
Are we gonna have to do it this way, Jeremy?
Yo, the first time.
Oh, the first part. Gotcha.
This is what allows you to just grab that same piece, that same PDF from the content structure and put it multiple places.
So I picked it, and then I just click select entity, and then now update the card, and then hit save.
And then
And then from now on,
go to media.
yeah, from now on I'm going here, and then updating it there.
Okay.
But don't you have to go through and update it every day anyway, because it's still,
But-
it's pulling the same file.
But if you
But
have,
you're going here, and it's like this can be attached to multiple cards,
Right,
and so I'm only updating it in one place.
right.
Yeah,
that's what
but you don't want to go through the card. You want to go through the this browser.
If you're writing the file every day
Right.
off the computer that you're pulling from, you gotta go with the card.
No, you want to go
you
through
go
here.
here. Cause this updates the file in all the locations on the website.
It doesn't matter. Because
See, that's what
this is
confused
the
me. I'm
reference.
like, why do I have to freaking remove the dashes? If I
Well,
have to do
you
that
want to do
every
that
day-
once.
Right.
Yeah.
So like mine, like whatever weekly outlook or whatever, you just name it that one time.
One time.
And then you're overriding in the content.
I'll go through the scenario for everyone though.
I was
But,
just
but no,
gonna-
that's a good, because it seems like everyone's kind of.
The good example is our Outlook, right? So if you look at our Outlook, and if you go in here and you find our Outlook on the card page, our Outlook may actually exist, like on the front page and on the Outlook page and maybe somewhere else, right? And so, it's all linked to that one Outlook if you do it this way. And so, by having this one Outlook, you go in here, change the background file, hit that edit button, remove the file, add the new file. It changes it in all those locations instead of having to change every
That's
file.
that's what I was saying, like, but if we, every month we have to go in and do that.
Like you know,
Yeah, oh yeah, every month, that's what every month.
And there's no way around it. You have to update it.
But we're doing that anyway. For all the monthly stuff, we're doing that anyway. Where I want to start playing with the iframe stuff is where the stuff that like we're pulling automatically off of other
It's
places.
too bad that it can't automatically do that on its own.
Well, we'd still have to load it someplace.
Right.
Even for it to go grab that, we'd still have to load it someplace. So this is as good a place as any to load it.
it's the same thing. I mean, you know how on our web pages now, you just link to that under documents and predictive services, but you're all going. It's just a little confusing because this is like an interface.
Yeah, it's not.
Online.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But once you get this,
Yeah.
that's what I want this time. So I'll definitely go over that scenario. 'Cause
So,
it seems like
My
it's
other
pretty
question,
common.
what's the difference between just a card and the iframe? Is just like, how would you describe it?
iframe just references something from a different source, a different server, different site. So like
That's a
YouTube.
good- Alright.
Like, cause you're not putting your YouTube video on your
Like in
site.
a card, you
You're just,
can't.
and that card, that third image, since that has to be dynamic, that's gonna be iframe, because it's dynamically generated from somewhere, and then we're just iframing it and displaying it there, but it's not on this server, it's on a different server. But we're kind of faking it by showing it on there, on this server.
You can't really like, in a card, you can't just add in like that YouTube link.
We're talking about maybe putting iframe in the
That's
card.
what's confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We might do an iframe in the card.
We had a good place after lunch or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the scenario because it seems like this is a pretty important like concept, and then we'll go to lunch right after.
We can review it then again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think we need to because this is a really important. It's like 80-90% here. You guys really want to? Oh, because you might.
Right, timing.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Then yeah.
Hey, folks, let's do lunch early again today so we